Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Crypto News Podcast. It's your host, Matt Zahab. We are buzzing as always, and I'm super pumped to have Zach Brush on the show today, founder and CEO of MyPrize, an online crypto casino that is absolutely catching fire right now. Zach previously held positions at Kraken and Cumberland Labs, where he ran their sales trading desk, and he later created his own trading operation and became one of the most profitable individual traders of all time. Prior to founding MyPrize, Zach served as an advisor at JST Capital, a financial services firm specializing in digital asset markets. Super pumped to have you on the show and very jealous of the sunlight that is just beaming on this lad's face right now. Zach, welcome to the show, my friend. How you doing?
It's great to be here. I think we're going to see the sun set throughout the podcast. So this should be exciting. By the end, my face will be completely covered and no more sun. So we'll watch it happen. But happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Pumped to have you on, man. Before we jump into MyPrize, of course, the bread and butter of the show, and you guys are just blowing up right now, by the way. Kudos to that and congrats to that. And I mean, heck, you're really, I could be wrong here, but it seems like you're still in alpha. Like the full, guns ablazing, doors open launch isn't even here yet. And you guys are really making waves. So we love to see that. But before we get into MyPrize, and you guys having the highest ever pre-launch valuation for an online casino of $140 million, which is just absolutely absurd. Let's hear a little bit about yourself. Give us the TLDR, give us the background story. What did you do before founding MyPrize and sort of before Kraken and Cumberland Labs? And then sort of just segue into what you did at your time at Kraken and Cumberland as well.
I like how you asked that question. It's like your life pre-crypto and post-crypto.
Yeah, it's
right?
Two different things.
Once you're in it, you're in it. And then that's it.
And you're never going back. Yeah.
So I got involved in the crypto space in 2010. And so then professionally got involved at Kraken. But before working at Kraken, I was always in the startup world. So I started a couple businesses. When I was 18, my first business was an online grocery. So nothing crypto related. And then I had another business when I was 22 doing battery technology. And I had a slew of other things throughout. Some went well, some not so well. The life of an entrepreneur.
Part of the process.
Part of the process. And eventually found my way to Kraken about 7 or 8 years ago. So I was at Kraken building out the trading desk. Really exciting time because throughout that process, you saw the entire 2017 bull run, which was wild to participate in from the perspective of a trader and an OTC trader at the time. And we can dive deeper into it, but watching over-the-counter trading and crypto trading in general change throughout the past 7-8 years has been really interesting to see, because I remember at Kraken we were trading on Skype. It's a very small team. After Kraken, I ended up going to DRW, so Cumberland, and very different type of organization. DRW is a traditional trading firm that actually had a crypto desk within it, and Cumberland became one of the largest crypto market makers in the world. From there, after Cumberland, I was at JST Capital, trading there. And then I started running my own book of capital and trading for myself. Ultimately doing that before I also started a business called Recur, which brought in some of the largest publicly traded businesses into the NFT ecosystem, businesses like Paramount Pictures and Playtika and Sanrio, so Hello Kitty. And then after that, about 7 months ago, founded MyPrize. We had been in stealth until 2 weeks ago. And the past 2 weeks has been really exciting. We're onboarding tens of thousands of users. So we're about to cross through 50,000 users. And as you mentioned, we're still just in the onset. And then right in the beginning, the actual casino product hasn't launched, but we have an early access product out there where you can go and earn XP, which is almost like a player's card or a loyalty card where the users can start earning points. And so it's been great to see the traction, the initial traction, and the folks that are really excited for the product that we're coming to market with in the coming weeks.
That's so cool. Let's go back to Kraken and Cumberland for a sec. A lot of people have seen all the classic movies, Margin Call, of course, Wolf of Wall Street, you name it. All of them. There's dozens of just world-class finance movies. I'm sure guys like you and I, and most of the listeners, the guys and gals who listen, have seen most of those. We're in finance. We absolutely love that shit. They usually have, great A-list actors running the show as well. I'd love if you could talk about the differences between, and I've worked in TradFi as well, with incredible trading desks, but it's a different world in crypto. And I'd love if you could sort of explain some of the nuances, a little bit of the maybe not so known differences, some of the madness, the shit showness of what it's like being at an OTC desk. And folks, this is not like Zach's trading 10K here, 10K here. This is schmillions and schmillions of dollars being traded all over the place. What was it like? Give us some good stories back at the trading desk.
Wow. So we're really going back in the day here
Yeah.
to some of these. Kraken was an incredible experience. We were very, very small desk. So there's three of us, literally.
Wow.
So super, super small. And the entire over-the-counter ecosystem was very small. You had groups like Circle that was there, which was a two-man desk. You had Octagon.
Circle
You
was
had
two guys?
two guys at the time at the trading desk. Chris Armida and Dan Mataszewski, they were over there. And then it grew. Then there was more. Then you had Genesis, you had Octagon. There's a slew of Cumberland. And so there was only a handful of desks. And there were what I consider the older guys and the younger guys and different cohorts of groups that all started becoming friends. Of course, the older guys were above 25 and the younger guys were under 25, but still everyone was still relatively young. So it was a very young environment, vibrant environment, and still very collaborative. So very exciting. You knew everybody in the industry. And then when 2017 happened, things were moving a million miles an hour. So how the industry has changed dramatically is now spreads have come in, and then now things are tight, but you used to be able to price the market, percentage points wide. And so things were moving so fast, no one really cared. On the other side, you were showing a market, everyone was, coming in and trading with you nonstop. And again, everything was happening back then over Skype. And because there's so few people on the team and you're trading 24/7, you have alerts on, phones are going off, and you're making a market in the middle of the night or whatever time of day, and you're settling up with them within 24 hours thereafter. You had all sorts of different characters in the industry back then coming to the desk, engaging. There are tons of people doing try to do these fake Bitcoin sales. And, they'd be like, hey, we have 100,000 Bitcoin that we're trying to move right now. All sorts of crazy stuff was happening. And then you had that whole ICO, boom happen. Yeah. There's a lot of hecticness happening. And then, of course, the industry is becoming more mature. So there were no family offices. There are no institutions in. I remember when I was at Kraken, I was trying to call different family offices to come and trade with us. They're like, Bitcoin.
Not a chance. Yeah. Get out of here.
And then by the time I was at Cumberland, really there were some prominent folks, some guys that were large traders that ran serious hedge funds that weren't putting Bitcoin on the balance sheet of those funds, but they were doing it personally. Some very large, famous investors as well that were, putting on crypto risk personally. And then now you see large institutions that are actually here participating in this space. Yeah. So there's been a dramatic evolution, and also the space has got a lot more sophisticated. So a lot more sophisticated traders, a lot more sophisticated infrastructure. Making markets has gotten much more competitive, and there are a lot of great firms, and there's been a lot of turnover in firms, right? Firms that have been prominent are changing dramatically.
I love that. That's just typing away notes here.
And no one was in suits. Everyone was just, in underwear.
Yeah, everyone was just mad chilling. Classic crypto. I can't wait for the first crypto movie to come out. I know there's been a couple docs that have come out. It's normally just shitting on us and showing the negative side, the rug pulls, all the bad actor stuff. But I can't wait for and the first movie's probably going to be on SBF and FTX, which will probably be electric. But I can't wait until the first movie comes out, man. It's going to be incredible.
Oh, it's going to be great. And I think the fun part is we've seen the industry develop. So we're going to be like, that was kind of like how it really was. That seems crazy, but actually it's toned down.
Yeah.
That's how I think a lot of crypto is, right? There's so many ups and downs that are so dramatic, right? Really high highs and really low lows. So I like the joke that if they ever make a movie, you would think there's no way that happened in the movie, but really the movie watered it down because it was 100 times crazier in real life, but no one would believe it.
Well, imagine when the FTX movie comes out. And I mean, again, unfortunately wasn't there because that would have been pretty jokes to take part in, but the stories at FTX in Bahamas at their head office of the orgies and the speed and the nonstop Adderall and that would have been absolutely insane. That'd make for a couple good clips. That's some Wolf of Wall Street shit right there. So
I wish those guys didn't behave the way they did. And unfortunately, I'm one of the largest individual creditors to FTX personally. So I don't like SBF all too much and not happy with their actions, but there's definitely a lot of great stories and interesting stories and lots to learn from for the industry. And I think any new industry, all sorts of madness, all sorts of craziness happens. It's really unfortunate that the whole FTX debacle happened. And I really feel for every single creditor because at the end of the day, there really are victims and it's terrible. So, we can joke all we want about all the craziness that happens. It also sucks.
Well, Zach, you just teed me off, and full disclosure, that's part of the reason why I brought that up. Your Twitter is great. You're nearing 50K followers, and your bio goes as follows: founder and CEO of MyPrize.com, multi-cycle trader and founder, previously Recur, Kraken, Cumberland, and also the largest individual FTX creditor, and a nice little middle finger to SPF. I absolutely love that. What is the story? How did you become the largest individual FTX creditor? I hate to bring up anything negative on the show. I don't love this at all, but this is a good story. You got to give us the goods here.
Well, I'm a trader. I've been a trader for, a long time, many years. So I trade my own personal book of capital. And as a trader, you're trading on multiple exchanges. So how did I become the largest individual creditor? Well, right at the moment of the implosion, I had a significant amount of cash on the exchange. Of course, you keep cash on multiple exchanges when you're trading, but I had cash on the exchange. Exchange went down, couldn't withdraw my money. So now here we are. I sit on the creditors committee, actually. So I'm one of 9 that was selected by the DOJ to serve on the committee.
Jesus.
And we're doing everything we can to make sure that creditors can be made whole. Of course, creditors will never be able to be made whole, and all the suffering they might have went through or endured. Of course, the not having access to capital for a multi-year time period and so on. But we're doing everything we can to recover as much cash as possible.
So you're like deep in the weeds with this, eh?
Yeah, very.
That's wild. If you saw SPF on the street, what would you do to him?
Next question.
I mean, I'd probably give him a nice little sucker punch right to the chin, good old hockey style. I'd like grab his right arm with my left and maybe let him get me first, just so nothing bad happens to me. So I'm off legally, and then just feed him one right in the chin, right in the jibs, bounce his head off the floor. But that's just
all right.
me.
So I'll walk with you.
Yeah, exactly. You just
we'll walk together.
Yeah, you can film it. You film it for me. You're worth a lot more than I am, so I'll take the pain for us. So you can bail me out of jail. But we'll move on here, folks. But what a clown show! He's such a. I mean, I'd love to have him on the podcast just to grill him, but I don't think they let you do podcasts from jail. But story for another day. Let's jump into MyPrize here. Going on that roadshow. Now, again, crypto roadshows are a lot different than traditional roadshows. If you're raising 140 mil in traditional San Fran VC style, besides the 2 real COVID years, besides like 2020, 2021, early 2022, those days are over where you can raise a shitload of money online. A lot of it is in person. You're meeting with investors. You're doing the roadshow. How did this all go down? Give us some stories. Again, this is not a small raise. You guys raised 9 friggin' figs from massive people like Dragonfly, Boxcar. Like, tell us some awesome stories from the raise. That's incredible.
Yeah. So we started the business in September, second week of September. And when we were building this company, one of the things that was really important to me was really finding the right partners. And it's not my first time founding a business. And I really wanted to make sure that whoever we brought onto the cap table was super aligned with our long-term vision, not only for the gaming and gambling space, but also for the crypto space. And so every single investor that we brought onto the cap table, we think is a huge value add, and people that we can bounce ideas off, talk to, and have really great and unique thoughts. And something that was important to us, you mentioned, doing in-person meetings, that was very important to us. Every single investor that we brought into the cap table, we needed to meet in person. If we couldn't meet them in person, we would hypothetically try to, do a Zoom. I think there's maybe one investor on the entire cap table that we only did multiple Zooms with. Everybody else we either knew or had deep relationships with. Wow. And those that we didn't, we went and visited many times. I mean, Dragonfly, before we ultimately decided to take their check and they led the most recent round, I met with their team multiple times in person throughout a couple week time period. And then some of the folks that weren't in the States, of course, those guys we Zoomed with, but, met with Rob with the GP that led the deal numerous times in person. And so it was important for us to really have a strong feel of the people that we're going to be partnering with, because as we're looking at this business, this is going to be a long journey. I think that the broader gambling space is going to have so much growth. This isn't a business that's, 2 years, 4 years. This is a business that's going to be decades long. And I think that if you look at all the largest gambling businesses that are out there, the largest casinos, the Wynn, the Golden Nugget, all these casinos, they've been around for a very long time. And it's, I think,
decades.
These are businesses that are going to continue and continue and continue. And so for us, it was finding the right partners to align with and make sure that we could also have a crypto casino and have folks that are aligned with that vision as well.
Yeah, well said there. Before we get into, I guess this is sort of a two-parter, and this is more for listeners than anything else, but I often get asked as well, Matt, why should I use a crypto casino? And again, for my Canadian friends, unless you're VPN, you obviously cannot use crypto casinos. They are pretty much banned as a whole in Canada. In the States, there's ways around it, similar to you guys, where you have MyPrize Global and MyPrize US. You sort of create those two different entities to follow the rules and regs. But when a non-crypto user asks you, Zach, what is the difference between a crypto casino and a regular casino? What are some of the pros? What are some of the cons? What do you tell them?
So I think it's really important just to understand the online casino space and the casino space more broadly. So you're looking at, in the casino and gambling space, $1 trillion market globally.
Yeah.
Less than $100 billion sits online, which if you think about it, it's like pretty crazy. Less than 10% of the market's online. So gambling has not had its internet moment yet at all. So huge opportunity there. And you have brick and mortar shops, brick and mortar casinos, and the online casinos. For the most part, the online casinos actually are all taking in crypto as on-ramps. So the largest online casinos today, you're on-ramping with crypto.
Yeah.
The way I think about a crypto casino is even beyond that. It's how can you grow a much larger ecosystem from your casino? So we're starting out on MyPrize. You go to myprize.com. You can on-ramp with crypto. We'll also support fiat currencies as well too in the future, but we're starting with crypto. But one of the things that I think is very unique, about building an application that can onboard not only crypto users, but users that are outside of the crypto ecosystem, is you have the opportunity to onboard so many net new users to the crypto ecosystem. So our goal at MyPrize is, hey, let's build a killer application that can have millions of users. And by the way, gambling has the most product market fit in history, right? Think about it. From day one of civilization, people wanted to speculate. They're probably throwing rocks or like, all right, what are the odds if you rub two sticks together, a fire is gonna, spark, right? Yeah. People are betting and gambling and speculating from the second they could. And so gambling has product market fit. So you have this product that people want to show up to. It's exciting, it's engaging, it's entertaining. And then we have an opportunity to onboard those people into a broader crypto ecosystem. So our goal is to build MyPrize and then from there create a much larger decentralized ecosystem where folks will be onboarded into the crypto space for the first time. But it all starts with having a killer application that people can go and engage on.
It's so true there. One of the things you guys are doing that I absolutely love, and I've talked about this many times in the podcast, is adding some type of social oomph, some type of viral loop that really makes your growth engine much more efficient and allows you to have these moonshots instead of the steady sort of, linear upwards into the right growth. You get some of those big green wicks in your growth chart, which of course everyone loves to see and wants to see. My favorite thing that you guys are doing is the streaming aspect. You guys are adding tons of new streaming tools and monetization structures that better reward streamers. Streamers are absolutely blowing up. And again, you and I are a little bit older than, sort of the Gen Zer streamer parade. But all the Gen Zers that I speak to, whether it's when I'm interviewing them or friends of friends or cousins or whatever the case may be, these guys literally for you and I are probably like sports guys, gambling guys, whatever. That's, how we sort of use our free time. Their free time, they're watching the Aiden Rosses, the Kai Cenats, the iShowSpeeds, the Ninjas. That's literally what they do. They frigging love streamers. Every single streamer now is dabbling in the gambling space because it's electric content. Like when you're watching your favorite streamer play Fortnite, unless they're, in the last four, guys in the lobby, you don't really get those like crazy adrenaline spikes. But when you're watching Drake or Aiden Ross bet 500K on a blackjack hand, like that gets your heart going. And this is really, really powerful. How are you guys going to onboard? I'm sure that's in the plans, but walk us through the onboarding process. How are you going to grab these streamers? Is the goal to sort of create your own in-house streamers where the most loyal users then become streamers, and walk us through the new streaming tools and monetization structures that are there and will be there to make this flywheel really happen?
Yes. So you hit on something really interesting. You said the entire next generation of creators is all being established on these streaming sites.
Yeah.
Why? Right? So that was a question that I was asking myself before we started this business, right? And it's why we started the business, because it's twofold. We were looking at the gambling space where $1 trillion market, less than $100 billion online. Okay, massive opportunity. But then
Streaming
we're
market.
we're looking at the creator economy.
Yeah.
And creators are not capturing the value that they're creating, in my opinion, or they're not capturing it well enough. Why? You have guys like Mr. Beast, who's incredible, right?
Oh, he's the
creating,
GOAT.
he's the best streamer in the world,
Yeah,
creating incredible content.
He's the GOAT.
But where is he capturing the most value for himself from a monetary perspective? It's by being a chocolatier, selling chocolate. Or he had the burger thing. I'm not sure how well that did, but the chocolate's going well for him.
Yep.
Obviously, his brand value is incredible. I mean, he is brilliant,
Yeah.
but not capturing the value from necessarily the content that he's creating. And then of course you have the Nelk boys, which have their Happy Dad hard seltzer.
Yeah.
But for every Nelk boy or Mr. Beast, there's thousands of creators that aren't able to monetize in such a meaningful way. So when we were looking at that, we were thinking, is there a way that we can effectively turn every single creator into their own small business where they don't have to worry about a heavy overhead? Because not every creator can have a team of 60 or 100 like a Mr. Beast or the Nelk Boys might have. And so can you be a creator and you can just show up, engage with your audience and find ways to monetize with them. So they can go and have electric content, as you say, because they're playing the slots and it's so exciting, or everyone, the whole room can not only just watch them, feel like the hand of blackjack, but actually participate. And that's the big difference. So with My Prize, we actually created multiplayer experiences. We created the ability for you to bet together. You can bet with your favorite streamer or creator and also bet with the community. So now picture this, you're the Nelk Boys, you do some stream, you're chugging a beer, but then you say, boys, the fun's continuing. Hop on myprize.com/Nelk. We're spinning the fucking roulette wheel. And what number are we throwing on? Okay, boom, we're all throwing down on red 36. The ball is spinning around. Black 11.
Heartbeats going
Black 11. We all lost.
Yeah.
We're spinning it again. Let's fucking go. Red 18. Boom, hits, crowd, fan, chat goes crazy. Everybody's engaged, and it's a lot of fun. If you think about it, when you go to a casino and you go with your friends, you're with your friends, you're all throwing down before the night on red or black. You're all around a craps table. Even if you go alone to a craps table, you become friends with the guy with the cowboy hat that's
100%.
across the table from you. It's really engaging. It's a social experience. But right now, online, the casino is a single player experience. When you go to any online casino, you're doing it alone. You're doing it solo. And when I was thinking about it, and when we as a team were thinking about it, we were thinking back to the early 2000s, which I'm sure you remember, the late 90s, early 2000s, all of video games were a single player experience. I mean, think about it. We would play GoldenEye, right? You're playing alone. It's a single player experience. And fast forward till the 2010s and you're playing Fortnite. You want to play Fortnite with your friends.
Boys,
you don't care about the single player experience. It's a community experience. So as we were thinking about building this business, we were thinking, how can we power and give so much power to the creator where they can monetize in a meaningful way, but also create a really fun and engaging experience for the fans where they're already watching their favorite streamers gamble. Why shouldn't they be able to play with them? Of course they should. So that's why we're building this Bet Together product, and it's why we're so focused on product innovation in the online gaming and casino space. The space has not changed since people started doing casino online. There has been a lack of innovation. So our goal at My Prize is continue to innovate, continue to find ways for not only the creators to monetize, but find really engaging ways for their fans to participate with them. Community has driven everything throughout the history of the internet, literally everything.
Yeah.
Everything, every trend, community-driven culture, community drive every single thing that happens on the internet. And community has evolved historically on the internet, right? Late 1990s, you're on internet bulletin boards. Fast forward a little bit, you're in an AOL chat room. I'm sure you had an hilarious AOL name. I'm sure it was, your screen name was probably great. Mine was a slew of random numbers. After AOL, you have Reddit, right? Index communities. And then you have things like Discord. Now you have, Twitch and streaming chats. Where do you go from there? What can you actually do with those communities beyond talking? And you saw some of that with the Wall Street Bets movement. They actually were putting on trades together. Or you talk about the whole, meme coin craze that's happening in crypto. Why is that so fun? It's because you're doing that in group chats with your friends and with your favorite content creators, which in this instance of the crypto Twitter world is the crypto Twitter personalities, but you're participating with them. So you want to inherently do things with groups and with community. And so that's what we're trying to create, and that's what we're bringing to market. And we feel that these communities are looking for ways to have fun together. And these communities are global. Someone could be sitting in, Asia, someone could be sitting in Europe or different parts of the world, and they can't go to a park together, or they can't go to a movie together or a restaurant together, but they can be online. understand, they can talk, they can engage, they can play games. And we want to provide that environment for them to really go and have fun with their favorite creators. And so it's a very exciting time, not only for us, but we think it's a really exciting time for the creators, because they're going to have not only just this new content, but really a new way to engage and talk to and communicate with their community and their fans.
Yeah. Wow. That's a great little riff there. Again, it's just crazy to think, and especially the younger gen than us, the Gen Zers, like they do everything together. They genuinely don't like being alone, but so often they're alone IRL, but they're never alone in their minds and actually alone, because they're always on their phone. They're in iMessage groups, WhatsApp groups, they're on streams. When you watch a stream, you have like when you're on an A+ streamer, like you can't even see the chat because it's going so quick.
These streamers have a Madison Square Garden in their stream, right? That many people are watching.
5 Madison Square Gardens in their stream. Like some of these guys get 100,000. Like it's fucking wild.
Unbelievable. And even if you think about it, these guys are streaming 8, 9, 10 hours a day. And even if you only have 200 concurrent viewers or 500 concurrent viewers, that's a lot of viewers watching you for so many hours engaged with you. And so really, there are a lot of folks that are looking for a place to hang out and have fun. And that's what these environments are. Great places to hang out, have fun, engaging places to enjoy with your friends. And today, your friends don't just have to be someone that see every day.
Same geographical radius as you.
They can be anywhere. They can be anywhere.
It's crazy these streamers and content creators are putting up network TV numbers. Like it's literally bonkers. Like network TV, millions and millions, dozens of millions, hundreds of millions go into production, and these guys just have like a shitty webcam, a shitty chair, a $60 Best Buy headset, and they're just printing money. But Zach, you're on a roll, my friend. We got to take a quick break and give a huge shout out to our sponsor of the show, Prime XBT. And when we get back, we're going to keep buzzing on My Prize and everything Web3 casino related. Huge shout out to Prime XBT, longtime friends of CryptoNews.com and longtime sponsors of the Crypto News Pod. We love Prime XBT as they offer a robust trading system for both beginners and professional traders. It doesn't matter if you're a rookie or a vet, you can easily design and customize your layouts and widgets to best fit your trading style. Prime XBT is also running an exclusive promo for listeners of the Crypto News podcast. The promo code is CryptoNews50, and that gives you 50% of your deposit credited to your trading account. Again, that is CryptoNews50 to receive 50% of your deposit credited to your trading account. And now back to the show with Zach. You guys are big on really attracting normies here. And I absolutely love this. All of your verbiage goes as follows. Like, My Prize is geared towards everyday people, not just highly skilled traders and coders, and will help make Web3 more mainstream and approachable. My Prize is as seamless as interacting with any other website. All of the Web3 features are hidden behind the scenes, preventing new users from feeling overwhelmed. I absolutely love this. Whenever I onboard my normie friends to crypto, and over the last couple of months with Shitcoin Mania, letting them know that they have to, go to their Canadian bank or their American bank, send a transfer from that to a centralized exchange, buy Solana on that centralized exchange, open up a Phantom wallet, make sure you write down those 12 words and never fuck it up or lose it. Hide it in a very safe place. Do not take a picture on your phone. Do not put it on your computer. Teach them how to use Phantom Wallet, teach them how to use Radium or Jupyter, Dex Screener. It's a gong show. Oh, you don't have Telegram and Twitter? Jokes. Guess what? You got to get that too. Otherwise, you can't really participate. You're not going to be able to do your DD. It's nightmare fuel. Is this this just seems so paramount and so ingrained into your guys' identity. This was a no-brainer to make it as user-friendly as possible. But why are you guys so horny, for a lack of better words, on sort of onboarding the people to this online casino, to My Prize? Why will that then get them into Web3? That's sort of my question and oomph behind that.
It's a great question. I've been obsessed with crypto since 2010. Really, I was obsessed with Bitcoin back then. But from there, became obsessed with pretty much all crypto and the ethos behind it. And so one of my personal goals has always been onboard as many people as possible into crypto, period. And so if you look at the entire industry, there's great protocols, really incredible, traction, crazy valuations, lots of opportunity to make money trading from a speculative perspective. But if you had to name some of the best applications in the crypto space that have onboarded millions of users, what are they? And so what are they is crypto exchanges. Crypto exchanges historically have onboarded the most amount of users. And so that's like the gateway for many people to then explore. You make a Coinbase account, you bought Bitcoin, maybe you bought Ethereum. And then from there, you're like, okay, let me explore a little bit. Even right now people maybe are playing around with Base because it's something that Coinbase developed and they feel comfortable, or it's easy to move around. And so I think like you take someone like Binance, right? Binance had millions of users. They then have BNB and then Binance Smart Chain. They have the liquidity of users. And then they also have developers, and they're able to bring those together. So they're able to push their users to a huge cohort of developers that are building on top of Binance Smart Chain.
Yeah.
And those users are then getting exposed to new things within crypto. And then from there, you start exploring more and more and more and more and more. I don't know how you got into crypto to start, or where you bought your first Bitcoin or your first ETH, and then how you expanded on from there. But likely you started in a centralized way.
Yeah.
So my view is, if you can take an industry that has total defined product market fit, gambling and casino has product market fit. It's not a question. It's a massive industry and everybody enjoys gambling. Do people enjoy, XYZ novel financial product, DApp, that was created? Maybe, maybe not. But everyone loves casino.
Yeah.
And so our view is, if we can build a killer application that onboards millions of users, and then from there expose them to crypto, and then also build a big decentralized GambleFi ecosystem over time, then we're doing something very special. We have the potential to onboard millions of people into the broader crypto ecosystem. That's what's really important for us. So, we're starting out as a centralized business. We're starting out as an online casino. And then from there, we will build out a full decentralized GambleFi ecosystem.
Crazy. Walk me through the name. It's a great name, but was it always My Prize? Were there any other candidates? Did you have to throw an arm and a leg at the domain? Walk me through that whole story.
I was sitting with one of my co-founders in Miami, and we were talking and thinking, what should we name this thing? And we just started riffing back and forth on a bunch of different names. And then we were going in different languages, trying different things out.
Some Latin.
Using prize, play, spin, like all sorts of different types of things. We're reaching all sorts of ways. And then it sort of hit me that we're going to have, a really collaborative nature, where really it's about, the creators that are onboarding and participating with their users. And I thought, it could be pretty cool if we have a situation where the creator can be going on, come on myprize.com/creator to come play with me.
Yeah.
And it really is their prize, right? It's the creator's space. It's their room. They're the host, and they're engaging with their user bases. And so we talked about it, and we were like, that's cool. So we just ran with it, and that's the name, My Prize.
I love it. Zach, what an episode, man. This has been an absolute treat. And I know we barely scratched the surface here. Any other areas of crypto and Web3, blockchain, casinos, gambling, any other areas of that, or any other parting thoughts that you'd like to add before we let you go here?
I would just say that I think the industry is really developing, and more people are starting to get exposure. And so there are many new ways that people can start participating in the space. And you're seeing that right now, even with the whole meme coin mania, that it's just easier to participate, and that it's just a fun thing, right? It's almost been gamified in some sense. And of course, none of this is financial advice at all, but you're really separating some of the aspects of fundamentals and trading, and really saying, hey, we're just having fun with our favorite communities, our favorite creators, and playing around with memes. And I think that is an interesting example of how we're seeing communities play out on the internet, and how we're seeing certain growth. And it's why I think, it's just an example of why I think the product of the Bet Together product on My Prize is going to be so much fun and so engaging, because it shows how you can go and do things together. Whereas in the traditional financial markets, everything's siloed, everything's so secretive. It's not like, come on, let's all go put on this, we're all doing this trade together. This is a great meme, or whatever it might be. So I think it's been really exciting to see all sorts of new crypto innovations. And yes, I am out here saying these meme coins are crypto innovations. And pay attention to Ansem, right? And it's interesting,
Yes,
right?
you must.
Who are the favorite creators? Who are the creators? What are they doing? And it goes back to what you were saying earlier. Creators are now putting up network numbers, right?
Yep.
And so creators even in our little world of crypto, are now influencing more than venture capital might, and more than certain trading desks might. And it shows really the power of the creator economy. And so I like to always think, and throughout my entire career, because I was in the crypto space and on a crypto desk, I saw all sorts of interesting things and had all sorts of different exposure that I felt, wow, probably you had to be like the most senior guy at XYZ Bank to have seen how something like that might have functioned. And so part of my little thesis is that what happens in crypto happens fast and almost leads. It's an indicator of what will happen in the future in the real world. And so I think what we are already seeing in the creator economy is the importance that they hold. But what we're also going to see is how creators are going to find really strong ways to monetize and directly control the narratives and the futures of these communities. And I think it's pretty awesome to see.
Well said. Shout out Ansem, had him on the pod. Guy's the GOAT. It's crazy the influence he has right now. Like one tweet moves markets. And I'm not talking fires off a tweet 20%, fires off a tweet 5x. Like it's insane. It's absolutely insane. And just
Twitter fingers comes great responsibility.
Yes. And just to sort of fortify your point as well, you've seen a lot of rounds where over the last 6 weeks, I'd say, where companies like yourselves who are raising a shitload of money are also giving allocations literally just for the crypto influencers, just for the guys who spend all day long getting those fingers buzzing and typing away and putting out fire on crypto Twitter, because they understand maybe the extra 500K from VC X, Y, or Z, maybe it's worth giving that or having that allocated to an influencer who can really move the needle impression wise and get your product and future product or service in front of millions of people on crypto Twitter. It's powerful.
And they're actually living it, right?
Yes.
They're in the weeds. They're participating. They really understand the markets. They understand the business, and they're the user, right? So I think that's what's very interesting this cycle. It's that you have these VCs that are, hypothesizing and thinking.
Yes.
Whereas it's very easy to say, a Twitter influencer or a KOL, as they're calling it, is just good for impressions. That's not true. That might be true. Yes, they're good for impressions, but they're actually also the user. They're the power user. Their audiences are the power users.
Yeah.
They're in the thick of it and they really get it and they've been living it. And these guys, they didn't just show up overnight. Some of these guys,
they've been
grinding for years. They've been grinding for years. And so I think that's what's so special is you're engaging and talking with guys that can actually influence your product from a product perspective and help it get better. And also, of course, help bring exposure. But again, integral parts of the ecosystem that we have here today.
Also, side note, last thing before we wrap up, whoever invented the term KOL, you need to be put behind bars forever. That might be the shittiest acronym of all time.
Completely agree.
It's just hogwash, as the Brits say, bollocks, mate. It's fucking horrendous. Pardon my French, but it's just incredibly, just a terrible term. Anyways, we're going to end on a positive note. Zach, you absolutely crushed this. I had a blast, and I know we barely scratched the surface. And at the rate you guys are moving and grooving, gonna have to have you on for round 2 as well. Also pumped to see you in Dubai. By the time this episode airs, it'll be either during or post Dubai. So Zach and I will have done some fun stuff in Dubai, a couple of yachts, a couple of rooftops, a couple of interviews at the conferences. I'm gonna have to interview you at the conference as well. And Dubai is always a treat. But Zach, really appreciate you coming on. Before we let you go, can you please let our listeners know where they can find you personally, online, and of course, My Prize as well?
Yeah, you can follow me at Zach Brush on Twitter, on X. And you can follow My Prize at MyPrize.com and at MyPrizeUS. Go to the site if you're global, MyPrize.com. And if you're in the US, MyPrize.us. We'd love to have you and come play, come have fun.
Unreal. Zach, what an episode. Appreciate you coming on, man.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, Matt.
Folks, what an episode with Zach Brush, founder and CEO of My Prize, the online crypto casino that is absolutely making waves at the moment. Folks, we covered everything in this episode. Evolution of crypto casinos, stories from trading desks, the evolution of crypto trading, onboarding the normies to Web3, multiplayer experiences, and of course, streaming and community driving everything on the internet. We'd love to see it. Folks, if you enjoyed this one, I hope you did. Please do subscribe. It would mean the world to my team and I. Speaking of the team, love you guys so much. Thank you for everything. Eustace, you're the man. And back to the listeners, love you guys. Keep on growing those bags and keep on staying healthy, wealthy, and happy. Bye for now, and we'll talk soon.